Hello and welcome to A Voice for All. I am your host, Jamila Gamble. If you are just tuning in for the first time, welcome. This is season 4 of A Voice for All, and we are so excited to be having another fantastic season with an awesome lineup. If you are a veteran of A Voice for All, I actually had these guests on season 2. They've actually polished up a bit. Before, it was more like a wild lumberjack man with his hiking boots, and they had their camp t-shirts, and now they're all spiffy in the city. I'll tell you why they're in the city. But if you have any questions, tweets, comments, be sure to connect with me on the Jam fan page, facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble, or you could tweet me at Miss Jam PCCS. I always love to hear from you guys. So, to my spiffy, fancy guest, Kevin.
Yes.
You polished up nicely.
I did. I left the forest and I came to the concrete and steel jungle.
Wow.
Yes. So it's a transition that I'm trying to work my way into here.
Why didn't they contact you when they were catching that bear in whatever city? You would have been perfect.
There was some phone calls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't follow my guidelines either, and they totally botched it. So, yeah.
Failed mission. But
Yes.
welcome to the city.
Thank you.
Concord in the city. You see how I did it?
Yeah.
It's good. Good tie-in.
Good time. Tell us, from where you were in season 2, now season 4, there have been some big changes. What is going on?
There have been. We, about 3 years ago, so a little bit around the time that we were last here, we started a day program for adults on Saturdays. So
Nice.
adults with special needs, aging from 16 all the way up. We actually have a 35-year-old in our program, and we don't have an age restriction. And over the years, we've noticed that there is unfortunately a lack of programming or learning centers for adults, especially those who are aging out of high school. There's this drop off for individuals that have special needs after the age of 21, and we thought we do such great work up at camp.
Absolutely.
Why not bring that back to the city and our passion for working with adults with special needs and just transforming that into Concord in the city.
And that's so needed, because again, like I've always said, that parents of typical children, when their child's 21, they're excited because they're going off to college and they're starting their lives. But for parents who have a child with a disability, they're dreading that time, And now there's folks like you guys who are creating opportunities for them, so it's kind of decreasing the stress, right, for the parents.
Yeah, so up at camp we always do the focus of independence, life skills, and social skills. And we notice from the parents that there's still that big demand at the age of 21 and older, that they still need to work on those skills. So the idea was to transfer what we do at camp to a location more in the city, so that we can continue it year round. So that's the hope, and it's looking really good so far.
Yeah.
We're pretty excited about it, to be honest.
So what big and exciting things have you been doing? What's the new changes?
So it's a two-pronged approach of Concord in the city. So we have 2 programs. We have the Compass program, which is specifically aimed for individuals age 21 who are aging out of high school. But again, we don't have an age cap. Just like with the Concord in the city, just with Camp Concord, we don't turn anybody away based on their age, because the learning is a lifelong adventure, and so we're not going to say just because you're 45 you can't keep learning. I think that's an injustice to individuals.
Why?
So that Compass program focuses on daily life skills, volunteer opportunities, co-op. We have a fully huge kitchen. We have a laundry facility downstairs that we do our laundry.
Oh, I remember the kitchen, because we were talking about things you guys can cook me, right?
Yeah,
I remember.
So hygiene, and then again, we're quite a small program, and so we really like focusing on the personal. So working with the parents and developing goals for the individual. And there's set times throughout the week where the individual and the workers sit down and work on goals, and that could be from transit independence, reading a map, to just reading skills, to budget, and then in conjunction with the parents we work on those skills, and then we modify the goals if necessary. There's a second kind of program that we're hoping to get some funding from the government for, and that's an employment program. So trying to help individuals with special needs gain employment in Ontario and kind of stay connected with the employment opportunities as the liaison for about 3 months after they get hired, and just help the employer be educated about special needs, but also about the participant ease them into
I
employment.
really love that there's an employment component
Yeah.
because, again, we've talked about this on the show that for some reason people don't believe that individuals with disabilities can have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this foreign concept. So when there's more groups, I already know there's a few groups that are touching base on it, but I love to hear that there's more groups that are getting employers ready and getting the employee ready.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so what else? Excite me here. I am excited. Give me more because I know there's more.
There is. I mean, we do academics. We do.
What about relationships?
So
Because dating. Do you guys touch base on social skills like that?
So we do the social emotional.
Kevin has a smile on his face. I don't know if there's a story or there's something.
No, just please continue. Melissa. She's got this one.
No, but the social emotional, and that's a huge part. It goes back to what you were talking about when individuals age out, the parents they're in this lurch, and so you can stop working and support your individual by just being at home with them a couple days a week or relying on family members. But it's that social skills of being around other individuals and working on. So we do have social skill time, and we haven't thought about the healthy relationships, but I think that's something that we could going forward is definitely something that we will be working on.
Yeah. Some of the parents we've been speaking to have mentioned that too, because I always see it as two-tiered. Like when I grew up, when I grow, I guess I'm still growing. I like to think I am.
You know what it is? Because you went from being a grizzly man to this polished guy. So
I know.
You're in transition still.
Yes, excuse me. So it's going to be those times where, and this is from the words of a parent that we spoke to, was the idea, like you can gain information from the adults and the peers and the teachers around you and things like that, but you can also gain it from your students that you go to school with. There's no better place than that. So the relationship building there is really key to us also, and we see a huge amount of importance in that, from learning from your peers as opposed to being told from your teachers. Yeah. So we facilitate that as much as possible also.
I like that.
Yeah, it's one of our focuses.
Yeah. So I remember when we first talked to you guys, we were talking about volunteers and people being able to help you guys in any shape, way, or form. Are you still looking for that support? And if so, what kind of support are you guys needing?
Yeah, so we do, we actually have volunteers that volunteer at the program that have special needs, that actually have gone to Camp Concord, who aren't able to be gainfully employed at the moment, haven't found that right opportunity, so we are working with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time giving them the opportunity, because that looks great on a resume and that helps that out, that we can be their reference and talk about some of their skill set. We have co-op students, and then we have just our family and our friends are true believers in our program, and so
and I don't see why they wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's contagious.
Yeah.
So when we talk about it, and it's always one of those things that happens so naturally when you're passionate about something, that when you talk to other people about it, your parents and your friends and things like that, your close circles, they get excited about it, involved too, and they want to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
So Emre's parents come up to camp with us, and they always bring a project, and they're excited. And friends of ours, some of the students I used to teach now come up and volunteer at camp.
Yeah.
It's really neat to see.
And I remember too, from season 2, because I feel like I'm kind of recapping for those of you who've never seen them previously, you have a component, if I'm right, that families can also come up to camp with their child, and you guys kind of do like a family piece.
So unfortunately we don't have a family camp, but just this last weekend I was up at camp giving tours.
Okay.
And we do, so we have in the fall, we have fall colors.
Okay.
And parents and their campers can come up and experience the wonderfulness of Bancroft in the fall. With the colors are gorgeous. And we had an open house this week past, and went into the water. It was very cold, but we did our first polar bear dip. Ooh. And I took some of the Concord and the city participants up with me for that overnight. And we didn't have any families join us this time, but we think that camp is not just for the campers, that the families fall in love with it as much as the campers do, which is great as well. So
it's contagious, like you said.
Yeah,
yes.
It is.
It's contagious. And again, you guys are transforming, from going from camp, and now you're in the city, you're all spiffy,
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to make a transition. You got to be somewhat confident, but you also, I think, need to tread lightly with these new endeavors because they are challenging. It's hard without people like you sometimes that will give us that opportunity to share our voice.
Oh,
That not many
anytime.
people would know about it. Thank you for that, by the way. Starting a new project's always challenging, exciting, and it's great to have a forum like this that can help get that word out and let people know that we're around.
Yeah.
And again, like just to wrap up the interview here, adults, first off, we're children. We always have such a huge focus on children with disabilities, and we forget that those children become adults. So the services need to continue, the help needs to continue, and I absolutely love that now parents aren't having to pick option A or option B. There's now a C and a D with you guys. You offer so much to families, and really you guys do deserve like an absolute round of applause for what you guys are doing. I love how far you guys have come, because again, that age for parents is such a stressful age, and with what you guys offer, like parents must feel a little bit more,
And
you know,
that's
a
what
little
we-
bit at ease.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
You
wanna
know,
provide
and it's sometimes there's organizations where there's people who are in it purely for the money and purely for the title. I could say with complete confidence that these guys are in it for the love of it and for the heart of it. Their passion comes out. When they come, we only have 10 minutes, but if I could talk to them for 45 minutes, I'm sure we could, because you guys just ooze passion. And again, I could tell that you guys have such big things in store for Concord in the city. Maybe it's going to be Concord in the village, Concord in space. I don't know. I could see these guys evolving some more. Their information is at the bottom of the screen. If you need to get in touch with them, get in touch with them now. If you have an adult, talk to them. These are the folks. After the break, we have even more fantastic guests. Thank you guys so much for being on The Voice for All.
Thank you
Looking
for having us.
spiffy.
Thank you.
And I'll catch you guys after the break. Welcome back to A Voice for All. I am your host, Jamila Gamble, and if you're never tuned into A Voice for All before, it's all about disability awareness and education. It's the only show on Rogers TV to do that. If you'd like to get in touch with me, be sure to join the Jam Fam, facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble, or you can tweet me at Miss Jam PCCS. I always love hearing from you guys. It truly makes my day. In this part of our show now, I have a pal, like how I did that, Tracy Sheriff from the PALS program. Thank you so much, Tracy, for being on A Voice for All.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we are glad to have you because we've never even talked about PALS. So for those who are watching and they've never heard about what PALS is about, give us the rundown. What is it?
PALS stands for Parent Advocacy Learning and Support Network.
Okay.
It's actually a group in Hamilton that I founded in 2010. I'm a parent of 2 children who have learning disabilities.
Okay.
Both of my children are actually a little bit older now, but through those experiences, I've certainly met lots of other parents who have children with similar challenges. And one thing Hamilton didn't have was a Learning Disabilities Association of Ontario chapter. And so we, a small group of us got together and decided that we wanted to start a network.
Do you feel that there is a lot of services when it comes to learning disabilities? Because even on my last episode, we were talking about learning disabilities and we kind of concluded that there doesn't seem to be a lot of talk about it.
There isn't. I know our closest Learning Disabilities Association is in Halton, and so they do branch out and they do support Hamilton families.
Right.
That's actually fairly new. At the time in 2010, there wasn't that sort of connection, although we were always welcome. But when we look at it from a geographical perspective, coming from Hamilton, it's not that convenient to go out to Halton necessarily to get resources. So we weren't really sure when we started PALS what it would look like, but we've been really pleased with the support we get from the community and how we've been able to do some outreach for families.
So what are some of the services that you offer to these families and their children?
Well, basically we see ourselves as a resource. So we work collectively. I have a small advisory committee of 4 other members, and we sort of curate information. We look at professional development and workshop opportunities and presentations for families that are in the community or even outside our community. And we make sure that information is shared through our social media.
Right.
We also do invite guests and presenters to come and present to PALS as well.
Oh.
So we promote our own events as well as other people's events.
So when you say you invite people, are you inviting people to talk to the children of the group or to the parents, like maybe like motivational or
At this point we've really just focused on the parents, but we've actually been able to have lots of professionals come out to our events
Great.
as well. So if the topic is of interest, anyone is welcome. And what we've found is our topics are so broad that they are often encompassing a lot of other diagnoses. So families of children with other challenges are also asking if they can come, and by all means we welcome everybody.
Yeah.
If the topic is of interest. So it's been great to have some of the school board staff from Hamilton come out and join some of our events and promote our events. We also were invited to sit on the Special Education Advisory Committee for the public school board in
Fantastic.
Hamilton.
Great.
Because they recognized that there wasn't a
not
learning
enough.
disability support person in the community. There was an association, but it was several years ago and it never actually got built up again. So
what I think I love the most is, yes, you know, there's a group that's talking about learning disabilities and creating that education, but I especially love that it's for parents, because as much as I love supporting my students and my adult clients, I love supporting parents because they need so much support. You know, as educators and as advocates, we cannot do everything for the parents, so we really have to empower them and give them the resources. So the fact that you guys have a specific parent group, that's the best thing.
yeah, the parents are definitely our target audience, and I also don't want them just to feel like they have to come to me or to our team.
Yeah.
They can go to one another. So it's also about connecting people that have maybe like situations where they can share their challenges and hopefully their successes too. We like it to stay positive.
Yeah.
And we also like to really focus on partnership with our other community organizations as well as the school board.
Cool.
It's worked out really wonderfully.
So what are future goals that PALS has in store?
We're always looking for other speakers. We have talked about some children's programming, but we're not really sure what the direction of that will look like.
Right.
We are looking to maybe do some things like some book club kind of things and some Google Hangouts.
Okay.
Just to try to reach out to people in a different way to reduce the barriers for people that might not be able to come out.
Right.
Maybe even doing some taping of some of our presentations if
Right.
the speakers are willing. We've had some wonderful speakers. We've had Dr. Lisa Archibald from Western University do a topic called Language and Memory. We've had Dr. Pam Struixma come and do some work from Dundas on anxiety. We have Casey Foote, who comes from LearnStyle, which you may be familiar with LearnStyle
heard
because they're very much from this region,
Yeah.
to do some technology workshops. Technology is always a hot topic.
Oh, for sure, for parents and
Yeah.
for the children. So have you found that since you guys have launched the group and you have such regular, you know, sources of resources and meetings, what's the parents' level of, say, stress like? Or, you know, or do you feel like they're more comfortable, or do you feel like they feel like they're still a little bit lost in the woods?
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I think as a parent myself, we go through ups and downs. So there may be times when we feel like we've climbed the mountain and we're at the
Yeah.
top and we have successes, but then there's times when different situations crop up where we might feel a little bit down or feel a little less supported, and therefore we might seek out some of the network support. I take phone calls from parents often and welcome them and find that usually I can direct them
Yeah.
to the right person. I'm not the person necessarily, but the information sharer. So if there's something that they should be doing differently, or some advice that I can give them to help them move a situation along, to turn it around, then that's the service that we offer.
So sticking on the topic of parents and emotions, let's take off the PALS hat and put on the Tracy mom hat. You have 2 children with learning disabilities. How has your year been? The year's coming to an end. How do you feel with the IEPs and, you know, the new school year coming about? What's your feelings like?
Well, for me, my youngest is transitioning into high school, so it's a
big.
huge transition.
Yes.
Especially for all students, but especially if you are taking on some special education services. So there's been lots of communication. I've been really fortunate. The group working with my son has been very much about partnership.
Great.
So I felt a big part of it along the way. But knowing that there's a new team, and many parents are moving from grade to grade, whether it's elementary to secondary or within the system, there's always that apprehension, especially if things are going well, how is next year going to look?
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, so everyone's just finishing up their annual IPRC reviews, and in the fall they'll be looking at new IEPs. It always brings on some extra stress for families.
How's your son feeling about this new change?
I think he's excited about it, but it certainly, for him, it's all about relationships.
True.
So building those relationships in his new environment.
Is he going to a school with peers from his old school, or is this a whole new ball game?
There'll be some kids, and he does have some other friends that are already at that school, so that will really help. So
the transition for the both of you.
Yeah, it is a transition for sure.
So for any parents who are watching, what tips would you have for them, with their child who may be transitioning to, high school or looking for services, and how they should do that? What suggestions would you have for them?
I think it's important to build relationships right from the start. So go in with a positive outlook. Try not to be clouded by the judgment of others. If you've heard ugly stories, hopefully you can just go in positively. As many times as we hear about the negative, there's lots of wonderful things going on for children and for families and educators. I would definitely say be prepared. So share that information. Don't just assume that the information has been shared on your behalf.
Yes.
Or reshare that same information. It doesn't hurt to make sure, if it's really important to you, that you focus on that. And ask questions and ask for clarification if you're not sure.
Perfect tips. Seriously, because I think there's some parents who, they get those tips from, say, the social worker or the teachers in the school, but to hear from another parent, I think that really is helpful and reassuring, So keep doing what you're doing with PALS. For parents out there are resources, and sometimes we have to travel a little bit further to get those resources, and sometimes it's absolutely worth it. In this case, it is. You're hearing that there is a parent group. Learning disabilities is not something that we sweep underneath the rug. We talk about it, we embrace it, and we accept it, if you want to use that word. So if you'd like to get in touch with Tracy, all her information is at the bottom of the screen. I will also be sharing that information on the Jam fan page and on my Twitter account, where you'll see when I'm going to talk more about Tracy services. So you guys will know everything you need to know about PALS and other information regarding transitions. Again, Tracy, thank you so much for being on A Voice for All. We appreciate parents like you, and we wish your son, if he's watching, an excellent school year. I know high school is a really scary time, but it's probably going to be the best time. So this wraps up an awesome episode of A Voice for All. I will catch you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed our guests. Thank you to everyone who came on this episode, and I will connect with you guys later. Take care.